Hey everyone, my lovelies. I love all of you. No, this is not my Teletubby Halloween costume. I'm in the hospital again. Yeah, ICU as a matter of fact, for an unknown period of time. We'll know that after I get out. Had a pretty bad event. We're in. Yeah, that looks like my nose is crooked. Anyway, breathing event where I've learned a new word, a term for it. It's called oxygen hunger. You feel like you're hungry for oxygen, and no matter what you do, because I had two sources of oxygen coming into the one I was wearing, the CPAP that I was wearing, and breathing, deep breaths, not shallow panting. I couldn't get enough oxygen, and it was getting real ugly real fast. And we finally just said, okay, we're done. Called 911, got an ambulance out there, and they took care of me. They did. They really did. They put a blast of oxygen on me. It's like a balloon thing that was putting out like 25 liters a minute. You could have used it for a room fan. Oh, it was a lot of oxygen. But anyway, it still wasn't enough. What I needed, and what they gave me, was a shot of a steroid, which helped immensely because it was quick, and a shot of some narcotics, which act, in this case, it's not about trying to get you high or anxiety or anything. It actually does two things that are in your favor at that point. It drops the the oxygen hunger. It drops it kind of along the same lines of what a narcotic cough syrup does. It relaxes that whole area, your whole breathing area, and it allows the flow of blood through your lungs to go a little quicker, and vasculature, whatever, vasodilation. But it also reduces that oxygen hunger stress rather well. I didn't realize that was a player until a cardiologist explained that to me actually this morning. So yeah, kind of a cool fast fix, but taking a pill like whatever you have available, oxycodone, hydrocodone, morphine, any of the opioids or opiates, this would go all the way to fentanyl, but I got to tell you, I have never taken fentanyl, and I don't ever plan to take it on purpose. Maybe I'm wrong, but that stuff scares me to death. I hope not to death, but anyway, that's too strong. How do you get it small enough to where it's not going to hurt you? You can still measure it accurately. Just crazy. So anyway, but the injection of morphine, which is a lot less potent, but it's still, a morphine injection gets you pretty loaded pretty quick. But that's not about getting loaded. It's about stopping that oxygen hunger. And like I said, very impressive. That got me going. But the thing is, for the moment, they're doing some studies to try and figure out how they can keep me from getting back into that condition. That, and obviously, hey, look, having a morphine shot available just sitting in my safe, I guess, would be, I don't even want to say that because somebody might go after it, but hidden somewhere in a safe, remote location that we could get to. Anyway, maybe that would be a good emergency. Like people carry an EpiPen, this would be my EpiPen version. This is not a drug seeker kind of thing, in any way, shape, or form. Matter of fact, a drug seeker would scoff at that amount, and plus there would only be one. It'd be a one-shot deal. It would have nothing to do with that. So yeah, it was an amazing find for me. Now I still have pulmonary hypertension, and that will, according to most sources, that's pretty much 100% lethal. So it just takes time. But what we want to do here is, not look at that fatalistically, but look at it like, Well, we all have some brief period of time on this earth, and it would be kind of nice to have some level of what do they call that? Well, comfort level, obviously, but quality of life. Yeah, quality of life. If so, any improvement in my quality of life during that period would be, like anybody else's seeking an improvement of their quality of life in whatever time they have left, including the most healthy people in the world. I think, we should all be trying to improve our quality of life. That doesn't mean we have to step on other people, get, or make massive amounts of money or whatever. Quality of life, I'm talking about just good old health. Boy, when you don't have it, you really notice it. So, I don't know, I'm just passing this along. Again, cool Halloween costume, especially this loose, funked out little thing. It's just there. Don't worry about it. So, all my lovelies, God bless you so much. Thank you for all the prayers. I put out that video of me. It looked like I was in outer space. This probably doesn't look a whole lot different than outer space. But with all the beeping and the gongs and all that stuff going off, it got like, hundreds and hundreds of views in a matter of no time at all. And all I was doing was just saying, hey, look, you guys have been praying for me, and my goodness, prayers at that magnitude are just delightful. So thank you. I thank God, thank the Lord, our God, our Savior. Go find Him if you haven't. All you got to do is say, Lord, show me you, show me who you are. Be my Savior. That's all you got to do, really. He'll send the Holy Spirit to take care of the rest. I mean, you kind of got to listen up a bit. You don't have to be perfect. Perfect would be, a nice goal, but it ain't. It's not going to happen. That only ever happened once. That was a whole lot of people ago. So don't be concerned about it. Don't be worried about, well, I wasn't perfect, or this guy wasn't perfect. Nobody's perfect. Not even Donald Trump. I know it's hard to believe that he's not perfect, but yeah, even he's not perfect. I'm just kidding there, guys. Love that man, Donald. Oh, God, yes. And thank you, because a lot of the prayers were directed to me living long enough to see that man get reelected. And you know what? I'm going to tell you this straight up. This may be an illegal term for him, because you and I both know that he won the second time he ran. And it was stolen from him, but he actually won, so that means he was actually the president, which means he's actually had 2 terms, which maybe this third one would be not available according to one of the amendments. I forget which one that was, by the way. We can find that. Would somebody fact check that for me? Anyway, yeah. God bless that man. Now, we got to keep him safe for a bit here. I'm pretty sure, and I've mentioned this in several videos, but I'm pretty sure, I've been saying this for a long time, but ever since Biden dropped out of the race, and they installed Kamala with no votes whatsoever, no primary, no nothing, just, hey, vote for Kamala, right? And apparently a lot of people fell for that thing and voted for her, but, well, maybe one day they'll wake up. Who knows? And, yeah, so the thing is, as soon as he did that, he took and put her in a kind of a weird position of quasi-president. I mean, no, she's not the president. As long as he is, he is. I mean, he may not be able to walk on a sandy beach without falling down, but hey, I might have trouble with that myself. But then again, you guys didn't elect me president, which would be quite an honor, and I would do the best job I possibly could, but I'm probably not your best bet right now. But I'm certainly a better bet than Joe Biden. So, take it however you want. You just take it, or you can either take it or take it. I don't care. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and just predict this, as I have in the past, that Joe will drop out. Now, whether he drops dead, I don't wish that on anyone. what, don't judge lest you be judged, right? And on the other hand, the man's not fit to be president. But if he just says, you know what, guys, I woke up this morning and realized I'm not fit to be president, so I'm ducking out. Well, automatically Kamala becomes the 47th president. Well, that's interesting because that means that the Trump merch that says 45, 47 on it, all of a sudden, he's got to change it to 45, 48. I mean, whatever. But the 45, 47, I would still like to get my hands on it because, like a double struck penny or something, that's worth $1 million because it's got a flaw. Yeah, I'll take it. No problem at all. But the thing about it is, it's flawed in a weird way because if and when Kamala becomes the 47th president, even if it's for a week, it is what it is, and I don't know, that number just it would become an unfavorable number at that point in time. And since I'm saying it's going to happen, that it in itself doesn't mean it's going to happen. That just means I'm saying it's going to happen, and when it does, you can say, well, yep, Rax got it right. Rax was right, just like they say Alex Jones was right. Well, and Rax was right too. I don't know if Jones came out and said anything about the Kamala thing. I don't know about that. Fact check that too. Anyway, I'm a big fan of Alex Jones, and you guys know it. I'm a big fan of Rogan. I'm a big fan. Oh, like in the last few months, what's her name? Tulsi Gabbard's stock has gone way up. Now, I first was interested in her back when she was running against Biden in a primary. That's when I first saw who she was. I didn't know anything about her before that. But yeah, very impressive person. I could go on, but let's just say she's very impressive. And I back then I was saying, boy, she would make a great Republican. I didn't realize she was going to do it. But first she went to independent, then she went to Republican, and now she's like gung-ho Trumpo. And I think that's fantastic. And then RFK, same thing. I don't think he ever switched to Republican. I don't think he may have, and he may in the future, and I think it's irrelevant. I think he is who he is, and he's fine. And Trump's even saying, look, I want you here, I want you in on the health thing. And straight out in front of the God and everybody, he said, but, there's some stuff I'm not going to let you near it. Well, because I'm the president, you're not, And there's some things that I want you to do because I want to tap your strengths. Why should I tap your weaknesses? That's what Democrats do. So anyway, yeah, that's what's going on. I'm sitting here in the hospital going, boy, there's so much going on. And, I keep an eye on it. See there? I kept an eye on it. Anyway, you like your eyes? Aren't they gorgeous? Hey, yeah. Yay. I know, I'm a scary old man. But nonetheless, you guys seek Jesus and seek peace in your house. Seek peace with your neighbors. Seek peace with people that you interact with in any way. And I find myself sometimes, I get upset with this one or that one that didn't do as I directed, say even on my medical stuff. If I've seen 100 doctors in the last several years, and doctors and nurses and such, and there are two that I would kind of hope that I never ever see again in my life. I'm not going to mention names right now, but actually I think they know who they are. But the point is that I'm disappointed in myself that I allowed myself to become, what's the word I'm looking for here? I wasn't really disgraceful about it. I mean, I have every right in the world to not want their input into my health. I have every. I mean, they proved that they can't. I can't trust them. But the thing is, that doesn't mean I'm allowed to be butthurt about it. I'm not saying that I was mean to them or so. I tried to speak the truth in peace, but I get inside of me. There's a thing going on that I think I need to work on. I need to be a little more humble about that and learn how to see the best in them without ignoring the problems. I'm not going to ignore them and say, "Oh well, it's okay." You could, no, if somebody's doing wrong, you don't ignore that. You call attention to it, but you also seek out the good in them because people are people, and God said He doesn't want anyone to perish for eternal damnation. He doesn't seek that for anyone. That you have to seek it on your own, and so for me to how shall I say, be unforgiving. I mean, I have every right to it, but guys, I would even seek your prayer for me to be more forgiving of, the 2%. Not the 98%. Man, these guys are great. I've had some of the best working relationships with the nurses and the techs and the doctors and even the housekeeping people, the ones that bring my food and stuff. These people are fabulous. And I want to note that. I want to let the world know that we have some fabulous people working in medical profession. But we've got some. The problem isn't them. The problem is the administration of it, the higher and the laws and the regulations and the things that tie their hands from doing an even more excellent job. And they know it, and they can't. In most cases, they can't say it. But freedom of speech is starting to come back into vogue. I kind of like that idea. Yeah, I don't think it means that they should become radical whatevers. Just freedom to do their job well and to have an opinion, express it, get validation on all these things are coming up, and they're coming up Trump. You know what I'm saying? It's a fact. Just in the days since his reelection, so many things. Okay. Now to the point of this conversation, the salient point. Today's Tuesday. Tuesday, the day after Veterans Day. What would that be? November 12th, 13th. 13th is coming up. That's tomorrow. That's the day that Joe Biden has invited Trump to visit him at the White House. Would I love to be a fly on the wall in that meeting? And they'll probably, I would suggest, guess, what is this right here? I don't know what that is. Anyway, I would guess that there'll be a portion of that that's public, and there'll be a portion of that that's quite private, as well as should be. These guys should be able to have a private moment. Whether that'll get leaked or not, I have no idea. But yeah, if I did, I'd tell you. I would. But I mean, what's he going to say? He's going to say, "Look, Don, when you get in, would you go ahead and pardon me and Hunter, and we'd appreciate that. We'd appreciate we're really not the guys behind all this assassination joke and all that. We're really being told what to do, and they've already told us what they're going to tell you, and it's going to be rough on you. They're going to make sure it's rough on you." That my blood pressure machine just came on, and it's almost like somebody tapped me on the shoulder. "Hey, who is here? Who is here?" Anyway, so yeah, I think there's going to be some outstandingly strange, unusual discussions being made, and I would love to hear them. I'd like to hear every last one of them, but I don't think that's going to happen. But my predictions are weirdness. Yeah, and Kamala, she's coming out saying, "Wow, we all are bound to provide a peaceful transition of power." I honestly think she's trying to mock Trump when she says that. But again, why should I harbor that kind of feeling? Let's go back to humble Rax. Humble Rex would have to say, thank you. We appreciate that. And yes, a peaceful transition is in order and certainly would be a wonderful thing for our nation. So, yes, let's do that. And let's let it be a two-way street. I think that would be wonderful. I'm going to check my blood pressure because it just took it. It's been going up and down a bit. Let's see. We got, well, it's not the worst. It's a weird, kind of weird to me. 137 over 68. Well, 137 is a little high. The last one was 110, so, it does go up and down. Maybe when I start talking about Trump and Kamala and Biden, my blood pressure goes up a little. But that 68 is kind of low. So I don't know a whole lot about that. I mean, I know 120 over 80 is kind of a good target. But and they say lower's fine. And a little bit higher's, it depends on what day of the month it is, because, eggs were good, eggs were bad, bacon was good, bacon was bad, butter was good, butter was bad. Blood pressure, same thing, A little high is good. Oh, no, it's got to be low. Oh, no, well, I don't know. But what makes me wonder is that spread, the different, if the talk number goes up above the 120, it's talk about 138, 137, 17 points above my target, right? Okay. But the bottom number went down 12. So the spread, instead of being 40, now is, can I do that math real quick? Give me a fact check on that. That's like the same thing as 70 from 140. That's a 70-point spread, but it's actually 69. So instead of 40-point spread, I got a 70-point spread. Millimeters of mercury, obviously. And I'm not sure what that means. It's got to be relevant. It's got to be. It's how hard is it pushing and how much is it relaxing. Why does it have to push so hard and then relax so much? That's how, I got to tell you, my engineering background tells me that it's relevant, but it doesn't tell me exactly how. And I'm going to look into that, see. But what that has to do with Trump talking at the White House is little or none. So back to that. This peaceful transition thing is wonderful. But have you noticed, like, anywhere you look, things are calming down. Even Putin, good old Putin, right? Last time Trump came into office, I think he called Zelensky or whoever was in Ukraine. I think there was another guy that was in Ukraine. And it's like they tried to impeach him over having a conversation. And they put, before he was in office, and then they took General Flynn, probably one of the greatest heroes of America, and put him in jail for talking to his counterpart in Russia. They put him in jail. The man served time for that. That's ridiculous. And now he's out not holding grudges. He's just out saying, hey, these are the things we have to fix. And he's on Trump's team, and I'm pretty sure you'll see more of him. He has no intention of trying to outshine Trump or anything. He's very knowledgeable of where the problems are, and he's a fixer, and he's an important guy. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll hear more from him. And there's like thousands of positions that Trump can influence or just out and out fill. In other words, you're fired, you're hired. You're fired, you're hired. He could be doing that all day for months. So his team, who's he put together to oversee some of that? Well, in a way, Elon Musk. Oh, that's going to be wonderful. And RFK, Tulsi. I heard a rumor. God, I would only hope that they would actually do it. The what do they call the press secretary? Not the press secretary. Well, isn't it? Yeah, the Cabbage Patch doll. That job. That he would rotate that through, people like Alex Jones and let him do it for a couple days or a week or whatever, and then Joe Rogan, and then you see what I'm saying? Just keep like a moving target. Nobody would be able to pin any. Well, they pin them down as far as their comments, but I think that job is really, really hard to do. hard to do well. It's hard to do bad. I mean, it's just hard. So yeah, having a rotating group, that means that the various people have to be able to follow the president and give varying views of what the president's trying to get out. He's going to pick the ones that he likes the best, and ones that screw up, he's going to get rid of them. Look what he did. I mean, think back. He had several press secretaries, but when he let them go, people thought, well, what did that one do wrong? I mean, who was the first one with Spicer, with the moving podium and stuff? And he was around for a little while, but he's still around. He's still doing news. He doesn't hold anything against Trump. It's not like he got fired because he did something bad. Trump found something a little more effective. He even put in, remember Scaramucci was in there for a little while. Scaramucci was like totally in love, in bromance love with Trump. And he totally that. And then they put him in as the press secretary. I can't think of the name of that dude. Fact check that, please. In that job, they put him in there for a little while, and it wasn't long. I don't know. It wasn't long. I don't remember it was more than a couple days, but I don't think it was much more than a couple weeks. He wasn't in there long. And it started to go south. Like, he wasn't putting out the views of Trump on Trumpland level. And he got canned. But it was it was get him out of there, coach. Get the next guy in. I don't see where Trump was, saying anything bad about the guy. It's just he wasn't getting the point across. And so he had to go, and somebody else came in. And we finally got Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I thought she was great. My God, that woman she represented him so well. But you see, it moved on and on. But maybe he could take that moving target and switch them back and forth. But, like the ones he likes, you bring them back in more often. And you bring others and to be like, try this one out, try that one out. And they would have to, kind of hang out with him for a couple days first. Who would want to hang out with Trump for a few days? I mean, whether the pay is good or bad or maybe it doesn't pay at all. Maybe the only people that take that are the ones that are already, making it on their own just fine. They don't need anything, maybe a place to sleep and a couple of meals, but they don't need like $100 million contract to be that job. Yeah, I mean, I could do it. Yeah, would I? Oh, sure. But it's not like I would require payment. I'd probably require a better suit than I own. It seems like that would be important. I couldn't go dressed in a hospital gown. Although I think it would be really cool to just like have a few press guys sit in my hospital room and would go over. Yeah, that would work for me. I think I'm probably not alone here. I'd wear my Teletubby Halloween outfit, and just I think I'd do a wonderful job. But you see, I wouldn't be doing it every day. I'd do it for a day or two, maybe a week, whatever, and maybe come back as a guest appearance, whatever. There would be lots of people that I can think of that would do great. Even Don Jr. would get a shot at it, and all of them. And Don and the gang, Eric might be in there a little bit. I don't know about Ivanka so much anymore because I think she just doesn't want that level of scrutiny. Isn't the word I'm really looking for because that makes it sound bad. It's like she's had enough of the country in her drawers, if you know what I'm saying. And I don't mean it in a bad way. It's like I think she's had enough. Now, I think that her husband did a jam-up job. What's his name? The Jewish guy, Abraham Accords, that guy. And he also did some stuff that was somewhat questionable. But then again, I'm sure that they would look at me and say that there's some of my stuff's somewhat questionable too. I mean, we all have that issue. Oh, hold on a second. Who's coming to see me?
Just introducing myself. My name is Charlie. I'll be your nurse tonight.
You're on the video. There's about 60,000 people listening to you right now.
Oh, goodness.
So I bleeped your name.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, just introducing myself.
And you're gonna be taking care of me tonight?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I'll be back in a
I'm
little
scared the living blazes out of you right now, aren't I?
bit. No!
Oh, good, because I have no intention of doing that.
No, you're fine.
Okay, well, we'll go on here. Thank you for that. Hey, you want to get this one too? Well, you can't do them both at once. We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay.
God love you. These people are so fantastic. So so that's what's going on for tomorrow. Trump, man. Trump at the White House. Yeah, guest appearance. Man, he owned that White House. But he didn't do anything that people were claiming like he was going to do this. He's going to. No, man. All he did was go in there and make America great again. He made America respected on foreign territory. He made the beginnings of a wall that could have salvaged this country, and Joe Biden tore it down. He started the Keystone Pipeline, and Joe Biden stopped it. He said no to the pipeline for Russia, and Joe Biden let that one go through, and then blew it up. What is up? What is up? Joe Biden, I don't know how much of the stuff that went on that he actually had. Excuse me, I want to take a little drink. Get dry there. I don't. If he did a tenth of the stuff that they say he's credited with, the man's a horrible criminal. He's a horrible political criminal, and needs to be, imprisoning your opponents it's not fashionable. Okay, it's just they tried it with Trump, and it didn't do him a bit of good. Like Trump said, the more they pile on, the more popular he gets. So bring it on. How any man can put up with what he put up with is beyond my ability to comprehend. And that's the part where I say, like, I need to be more humble. I noticed that since they took a shot at him, he is not less effective, not at all. Matter of fact, he's more effective, but he is more humble, and I'm seeing that. And even in his humor, it's like it's there, it's sharp, and he ain't holding back anything. But there is a certain humility about it that's quite refreshing. You go, buddy. I want to hear what you have to say. I will always feel that way. Since the day I first saw you coming down that escalator. Prior to that, like everybody else, I knew your name. I knew that Oprah said you ought to be president back in the 80s. I knew that, but didn't really know a whole lot more. I got to tell you, straight up, I have never watched one episode of The Apprentice. I knew it was on TV. I saw little clips that different things would happen, but I never watched it. I never said, hey, whatever, don't even know what night it was on. It was on for a long time, too. And I didn't watch it. I had no interest in it. I haven't turned to any television on in almost 10 years. And prior to that, it was, going down. I did watch the night that he got elected the first time. I had surgery on my foot that day, and I was coming off of the nerve block that they did on my leg, and 2:00 in the morning, and my foot's still numb, and I'm taking pain medication. I might as well watch and see what happens. And sure enough, it was around 2 in the morning or so when the world realized that Trump won, and I was a happy man. And like I said, it was just a year or so before that. I didn't really know that much about him, but from the minute I saw him and started listening to him, I said, this is the guy. This is the one that can make this country, well, he even said it, make the country great again. Am I missing it here? Is that even possible? There, it's over there. Okay. I thought it looked like, see, this one's here, but that one's gone. I don't know how that happens. Yeah, but so much for that, right? So yeah, I didn't know much about him, and then I started really paying attention to him and became a trooper. Trooper. And then I could not understand the never Trumpers and the rhinos and all the. It just didn't make any sense to me. I probably was. I mean, I'm saying interested in politics. I did my civic duties, but I wasn't, a pundit. I was not an influencer or any of that stuff. But then that changed, and the more that they laid on the man's neck, the more I supported him, and the more I felt like this is a guy that needs our support and needs. Why does he need it? Well, you can't do it by yourself. You can't. You can be a leader, but you can't do the job by yourself. What? Who is? Yeah, my son was talking about a group of we'll call them Mexicans that are doing some contracting work for him, and now he's helped them find more work because they did such a good job. Now, are they Mexicans? No, it turns out these guys are Americans. They are American citizens, but if you see them and talk to them and watch them work, they look like a bunch of Mexicans. Probably have Mexican heritage, and probably not that old, but they're all American citizens, and they are totally in favor of securing the border. That they came through the right way. They're still, you look at them and say, well, that's a bunch of Mexicans, But anyway, their work is so good. Now, that doesn't mean that all Mexicans' work is so good. It's just this group is so good. And he noticed that, and we've talked about it quite a number of times. And I said, well, what is it? He said, well, they get the jobs done quicker. They get the jobs done better. He works with others too. And they're cheaper. So a lot of times you look at somebody that can bid a job cheap and you say, okay, well, what's going on here? I mean, what corner is being cut? You got a bunch of Mexicans working for cheap wages, right? No, these guys get paid well. It's not about I'm not saying that. I mean that some people don't do horrible things with slave labor and whatever you want to call it at this point. That happens too. But in this case, what we're talking about is efficiency. These guys are so efficient at what they do that my son figured out that if you buy them lunch every day, just pizza one day, hamburgers the next, and soft drinks and whatever, and supply that, just bring it to the job and hand it to them. That yes, that's going to cost you money, and in today's economy, hamburgers are pretty darn expensive. But nonetheless, yeah, you do that, and what happens? These guys scarf it down in 10 minutes, rub their belly, and get back to work. Whereas if you just say, hey, look, we pay you, you get your own lunch. Well, they're not going to go to anything expensive. They're going to send somebody out and buy some food and go to one of them's house and cook it and eat it. They'll be gone for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And they'll come back and still go to work and still do a good job. But look what you've saved by just feeding them. Is it like treating them like human beings? Well, yeah, treating them great, and then we'll treat you great. And then all of a sudden, not only do they already do a good job, they're going to want to try even harder because you're the best boss, LFA. And so, yeah, he was talking about the efficiency. I said, well, let's take a look at that. What's it really take to be that? It takes two things. It takes a good leader and a skilled group of dedicated, loyal, and trained, talented workers. So you got the worker bee class. It's not a class. It's just you got some workers that are trained, skilled, and proud of their work, and you got a good, strong, solid leader that they can follow. And all of a sudden, what you have is an efficient machine that can beat anybody, price, time, quality, all that comes up at the same time. That's pretty darn important if you're trying to start a business, if you're trying to run a business, or especially if you're trying to divvy out work, which, you're choosing the contractor. These are the guys you want. Now, do you care if they look like Mexicans? If they're building a house or a skating rink or, whatever. No, you really, if they look like Mexicans, they can look like Afghanis. They can look like they carry baskets on their head in the Congo. It does not matter. What matters is leadership and a motivated workforce. That's what matters. And when you find that, you use it. And you use it to your own advantage as well. No problem with that at all. Matter of fact, recognizing a good workforce is the American dream. Okay, this has gone long. Find out everything you can about Donald Trump visiting the White House on Wednesday. I think that is going to be phenomenal. Note that at some point here very soon, and maybe that's what they'll talk about, is when that maybe Biden's going to give Trump a little hint, like you're not going to be 47, you're going to be 48. Maybe he's going to tell him, look, be careful. I've heard tell there's a band of Iranians that are coming after you on, a certain date or something. Tell him what he might tell him. He might tell him everything he knows. He might just be setting him up for a trap. I don't know. That part I don't know. I know that there's one of, that kind of stuff's going on. That's absolutely true. Now, what happens? I can't wait to find out. That would just be lovely. But yes, Biden's going to step down. I don't know if he's going to step down or if he's going to have his butt handed to him, which it could go either way, believe me. Pelosi, we all know, has no semblance of a conscience, or I don't want to say she has no soul, because we all have a soul, and I can't. That's the humble Rex is going to say. I'm going to pray for Nancy Pelosi because she needs it, and I want the rest of y'all to do the same thing. She needs it. She needs to wake up and find out that she is not productive. She is not a good leader, and she's not a good follower. She's just a power-hungry puppet, and that's a dangerous thing, very dangerous thing. But with that level of power, that is extremely dangerous. And we need to get that squared away, shall we say? Remember when she ripped up that speech? That was so childish and so ridiculous, and other foreign leaders saw that, and they didn't think badly of Trump because she tore it up. They thought badly of her and everything that she represents. And there's that stuff starting to come home to roost. It truly is. And some of them are noticing it and saying, I'm out of here. Tulsi Gabbard said, no, I can't be a part of this. She left them. And God love her for doing it. Same with a bunch of others. You're going to see even more of that going on. So, yeah, Kamala's going to be president for a little while. Now, that will leave this is the quick ending. Like I could do a quick ending, right? All right. She's not, the Constitution says vice president, who's president of the Senate, will acclaim what's the word they use? The new president. Not to swear again, that happens on the 20th. But on the 6th, they acknowledge the vote. I forget the word that they use. But they Senate produces the votes for their state, each state, and then the electoral votes are tabulated. There you go, and they're finalized. But I mean, we all know what they are. It's kind of a ceremonial thing, but it's done by the vice president. There will be no vice president. So they're going to say, well, there's no vice president, so it can't be done, so Trump cannot be installed. Which almost sounds silly, but you watch. Just watch, and you'll say, "Yep, that's what Rax said was going to happen." And then they're going to try and pull that one, but that won't work because at that point, the the Supreme Court's going to enter into this and decide. They'll just go with the total of the electoral votes, and it's going to be the Supreme Court naming Trump as the president, and he certainly has the votes to do it. And if Sotomayor is not, they're saying she should get out right now so that they can get him a Biden nominee and secure that position. She's not leaving. She's going to stay. And I don't even think she's all that sick or anything. It's just like she's 70 and she's diabetic. Well, most people that are 70 are diabetic. And so, is it like an unmanageable disease? Is she having problems performing her job? Doesn't seem like it. Do I agree with her decisions? Typically not. But she is illegally installed for life. Supreme Court justice, and whether I agree with her decisions or not is pretty much irrelevant. Whether I agree with how the court is set up, I agree with the Constitution, and I think the Constitution can be amended, and they can have term limits even for judges. But do they need to? And what should those be? That part I really don't know. I can make some recommendations here that would keep them from going out like some Ruth Bader Ginsburg or whatever her name is, Garth Vader Ginsburg. So that was sad, but you hate to see somebody in there, under the scrutiny of the press and the limelight in their final days. It's a ruthless thing to do to somebody. Now, if they're made for it, and that's kind of the way they want it, that's their choice. But we don't want to see a whole lot of that going on. So I could recommend some things. As far as making the court larger or smaller, I think that should be left alone. That's been working real fine for hundreds of years. It can be expanded. That's constitutional, but it requires judicial action, not just president. And so, we're not. I don't think we're going to see any of that going on. But no, I think what's going to happen is if she really is health challenged, then she's got 4 years that she's got to get through to even potentially see another Democrat president. And I don't think that you're going to see another Democrat president for quite a while, because Trump's got his act way better together now than he did last time around. He was great, but he didn't realize that he was getting it from the rear. They were attacking him from the rear, and that was a terrible thing. But he's got a pretty good rear guard set up right now. And you're not going to agree with everything he does. I'm not going to agree with everything he does. But in general, the guy's got it together now. And if you step out of line, he's just going to fire you. And now you can step back in line and probably get put into another useful position. If you have useful skills, he'll take them. So that's what's going to be going on quite a bit. Supreme Court, Sotomayor. If she during Trump's term steps down, that's going to put, like, instead of whatever it is now, 6-3, they'll put it at 7-2. Now, that doesn't mean that they're always going to vote, shall we say, Republican. It just means you got a much, much more conservative strength in that court, and that's very helpful. Like we're going to overturn Roe versus Wade. They didn't overturn Roe. They did, but they didn't do anything to deny women rights to anything. All they did was say this is not a federal issue. This rightly should go with the states. So the states can decide for themselves, and the federal government needs to stay out of it. That's similar to education. Education needs to come away from federal. That's a state issue. There's a lot of that and that will lower the size of government, and you're gonna start seeing that click down. It's gonna be wonderful, and there's gonna be a lot of butthurt people that are gonna be running around without jobs, and they're gonna be saying a lot of terrible things, and well, we'll see how that works out for them. There's plenty of jobs to go around. That just the gravy train's over, buddy. Yeah, the government size is going to decrease, and it has to, and it will, and it make America great again. How about make government small again? That would be wonderful. Skabala. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this one short. Yeah, I've never cut one of these things short. I don't know how I do this. I'm like squirrel, But so that's what's going on. So Kamala won't be there for in one way or another. On January 6th is going to be a very interesting day this time around. Hopefully it doesn't turn into anything nasty. That last one was real nasty, and it was all Nancy Pelosi. Everything that happened was her fault because she was offered all sorts of security, turned it down, and then put FBI agents in the crowd to make the things that did go wrong. That was caused by government agents, and buddy, that's just not cool. And then to put all these people in jail that were caught in the middle of nothing. That's totally uncool. I think Trump's going to go ahead and very quickly just say, okay, all you guys, there were a couple of you that were, bad actors, a couple. And you guys have to own up to that. But the vast majority of you, it's on some video. It's like, okay, so the door opened up and you got pretty much pushed in because that's where you were standing. And you walk around and say, "Oh, cool! Cool. How about this? I'm in Congress right now. I'm here. Oh, I'm walking around with all these other guys. Yeah, we're all walking around. Let's see what's over here. Oh, let's see what's over there." And now they're in jail. No, and there's people in jail that were outside that were saying, "Don't go in, don't go in, don't go in." And some of them are in jail. Owen Schroyer is like my national hero, but I hate that he went to jail. But I love the story that he can tell now. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen on this next January 6th. God, I pray that it doesn't get that kind of weird. But there's still going to be some fun stuff to go around. But ultimately, on the 20th of January, Trump will be sworn in. And then, he's already got his first 100 executive orders. They're already written, ready to go out. And then the people that don't want to enforce them, well, that'll be a real quick test. Just lay one of these things in front of them, and if they don't enforce it, send them home, get somebody else. If they don't enforce it, send them home, get somebody else. And it just keeps saying next, you're fired, next, whatever. It'll get done. The wall will get built. The migrants that will start from the top. The bad guys, the ones that we already know are bad guys. Round them up. I love. What's that guy's name? The new borders are. They use that name borders are just to make fun of Kamala, but that guy's serious. I love what he said. You're going to AOC. You're going to separate the children from their families. When he says, no, not really. If I got a ticket for drunk driving and I had a kid in the car, we're getting separated. These guys are criminals. And she said, oh, no, they're not criminals. They're seeking asylum. No, they're not seeking asylum. If they were seeking asylum, there's a way to do that. And it's not swimming across the river illegally. That's called a crime. And if they commit a crime and they have their family with them, you get separated. Oh, well, you did that. I didn't. You don't want to get separated? Don't commit a crime. And the other thing he's saying as far as deporting them, he's not going to separate the families to deport when they gather up the criminals that are known criminals that have been arrested several times and still are here. And they know a lot of them. They know who they are, where they are. You just round them up and say, well, you're going to separate the children. No. We're going to deport them as a family. Send them family unit. The whole thing goes back all at once. No problems. I love that guy. Yes. And now, could he get a little bit power happy, it could happen. It's happened before. History's full of it. So we got to keep an eye on him, no doubt. Trust but verify. And Bob's your uncle. Yeah. God bless all of you, my lovelies. Thank you for spending this time with me. And those that made it this far, I ask God to shine his face upon you and that give you a brand new opportunity to hear his voice aloud, to hear his Holy Spirit to give you direction, that we might all see the face of God one day, but only as we're covered by the blood of Jesus Christ. So I bid you adieu. I bid you blessings. And yeah, this, what it was, Trump and America. Yeah, about, yeah, also, yeah, also, they go together well. Amen.